We have some interesting Stadia topics to discuss today, including the fact that Google may be getting ready to launch the service over in Brazil, but to start us off, we're going to focus on Rainbow Six Extraction, which currently has a free 2-hour trial session over on Stadia. It is important to point out that this 2-hour trial does not require Stadia Pro, so it's available to everyone and all you have to do is simply go claim it in the Stadia storefront. This is actually pretty sweet considering just how brand new this game is, and frankly speaking, it's one of the better running games on Stadia. If you have any interest at all, you should definitely check it out. The game itself features pretty much everything you would want it to feature for Stadia, both crossplay and cross-progression with all platforms and systems, a dedicated frame rate and resolution mode for you to choose from, and it was a side-by-side day one release, which means the community is still fresh and kicking. I gotta say, it's cool to see this sort of partnership happen, and I really do hope that they continue to do these early free game trials for brand new games. It's a fantastic incentive for people to check stuff out. After all, it's one of the coolest things about cloud gaming, being able to immediately hop in and play and experience a game without having to wait for any downloads. But now let's talk about the bigger news story of the day, and that's the possibility that Stadia is going to be expanding into Brazil. Over the past week, a lot of eagle-eyed community members have been noticing that Brazil is getting a lot of attention from the Stadia side, be it new job hires or, as of recently, a Stadia landmark registration completed in Brazil. Reddit user ProdigyYo even noticed that they're getting a much better latency rate than what they were getting before, about 20 milliseconds in comparison to 80 to 100. That's good enough for cloud gaming, and I wouldn't be too surprised to see this expansion take place in the month of February. After all, some games are already being rated for Brazil, but what does this mean and why does it matter? Well, first off, Brazil is a very important market, and in fact, it's one of those markets that's best suited to actually take advantage of cloud gaming. It's why xCloud and GeForce Now are already in that area. Stadia is actually coming in a bit late, but that doesn't mean that it isn't important. Gaming is extremely expensive in Brazil, and I mean it. Their prices are absolutely ludicrous. I myself remember reading articles about the PS5 costing almost 5 months worth of minimum wage in Brazil. Most obviously a price that's way out of reach for your typical consumer. But that's not to say that gaming isn't popular in Brazil. Just last year, that market hit $2.3 billion in revenue. There's definitely interested gamers out there who want to play the latest games, but that's not always accessible due to pricing reasons. And while the whole country itself isn't covered in internet connectivity, the main cities are, and it's more than good enough for cloud gaming. In fact, some of those areas are probably better than some US cities. And a subscription like Stadia Pro becomes very attractive to a consumer who doesn't want to try and spend too much money on gaming. After all, right now you subscribe, you get access to over 50 titles. Expansion is important for Stadia, and hopefully it's not just coming to Brazil but other markets as well. I would love to see Stadia make its way over to India, and that's because that market has a lot of the things going for it that Brazil does, except on an even bigger scale. At the end of the day, the more markets that Stadia releases in, the more gamers that are going to be playing on the platform, the more developers are going to be interested in porting their games over. This is only a good thing for the platform and its users. We all only benefit from this, and I really do hope that Google continues to expand throughout this year. It would be great to see. Either way, that wraps up this Stadia News Day. If you enjoyed the video or found it helpful at all, be sure to hit that like button as it really does help the channel out. And if you're wanting more content like this, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell as well. As always, this has been the Virtual Cloud, giving you the latest and greatest on everything cloud gaming and VR related, and until next time, I'll catch you in the clouds.